Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to another edition of Thursday's weekly Aksys stream. My name is Sami, and we're gonna have a wonderful show for you today because it's the launch day of Dairoku Agent Sakuratani. Woo! Anyway, you already heard her voice. You already know who it is. The one and only, the extraordinaire Otome expert. I said that backwards, but it's Anne, of course.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, I love this new header, Otome Expert Extraordinaire. Thank you. So excited to talk about Dairoku, all this gorgeous art and music and mythology.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely Barry's correct. If you're a Seiyu fan, this one is 100% a treat. Like this one is, wow. Every character, like even the side characters, feel like they are just like wonderful. They're just so well put together.
We're at the end of the year here. Maybe there's a bit of rough. We're a little rough around the edges. I know I'm a bit tired. I don't know about you, Sammy.
I am going downhill, let me tell you.
Oh dear. That was a good one.
Yeah, one of the cool things actually about learning what everybody's favorite characters are in games is that I have this wonderful group of people who join me for streams every Thursday or every Otome day of the month, and they'll wonderfully tell me, "Oh, this is my favorite character," and then I get to judge them because that character is a certain type of way.
You get to judge everyone.
Yeah.
And then you play through the route, and you're like, oh, so that's who you
like. Oh, that's why you like them?
Yeah, I learned something new about you. So we're just getting the setup for this whole game here. I don't know if folks in the chat have heard the term Ayakashi before, but that comes up a lot in this game, so it's good to know. It's very similar to yokai, which are like Japanese spirits, mythological creatures from folklore. They can be ghosts, but not necessarily ghosts. They're not necessarily evil either. They can be mischievous, helpful, kind of like sometimes fairies. So there's just a huge range of these creatures that have been throughout Japanese history. In Japan, they really attribute spirits to everything, so you'll have inanimate objects that can have their own spirit and almost come alive in this folklore. You also have attributing like natural phenomenon to Ayakashi and yokai. I mean, we even get like reference to Nobunaga, the famous warlord, is in this game, you know, like, so I found it really fun to find out like the sort of real historical backgrounds of the characters because of some of that. And you're gonna also see all the Ayakashi, like the Kitsune and even the Oni, the demons and things like that, Tengu as well, that I think you see in a lot of different media too. Like, how many different things have a nine-tailed fox in them? I mean, there's the Pokemon, Naruto, we could go on and on. Yeah. So I gotta talk for a second here about this intro, because this is one of the things I loved about this game. Like the whole idea of our main character here, she is just out of college, so a little bit older than some, you know, like Olympia's only 18. We can assume that she's in her early 20s, I think. I'm not sure on her official age, but I would say that's probably about
post-college. Yeah,
college age. Yeah. So we've got a little bit of an older MC, Shino, and she is taking an exam, an interview for a government job. So she's basically trying to get her first job out of college, and then she runs into this weird guy who's like testing her, because basically she can see things that other people can't see, so spirits and Ayakashi, and she, you know, notices right now, it's happening on the screen actually, she's noticing this person who's there, and this weird guy is kind of noticing that something's a bit off about her. So this whole idea that, you know, your first job out of school turns into something you would have never expected, and then you're taken to this world where Ayakashi are real and you get to work with them, like, that's kind of a dream job, I gotta say. That would be really cool, and also maybe very intimidating, but still cool.
Yeah, early on, she's like, she goes to this, she's assuming it's going to be like a regular government job. She starts doing like a physical exam, so she's like, I signed up for a desk job. What is going on? There he is! There he is! This is one of my favorite voice actors, like, at the moment, at least.
Oh. I really like his design, this character's design.
Yeah, me too. It's very weird because, like, everybody has, you know, their thing, but, like, this is, like, somewhat, it's a very weird balance of, like, kind of feels like it's supposed to be traditional Japanese, like, garb, but also there's, like, a tie underneath and, like, a collar. This is more of, like, a very business sort of situation that they're in, right? Like, they're doing a job most of the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I never mention it, but, this character on the right here is Etsuya is Jun Fukuyama, who has just been one of my favorites of recent. So at least what's happening right now, I know we've been talking over a lot of this, but they're kind of just introducing her to the idea of what like Ayakashi are, what she's doing as in terms of a job, like why she's here, why she got picked, and it's pretty obvious. Like she has, they tell her really early on, she has a high aptitude for seeing Ayakashi and having that power, which becomes a pretty big deal as we go along.
So I want to know, like, in the Ayakashi training, there's something Shino's gonna have to go through.
Right.
If you were going to be Ayakashimori, like what area do you think you'd excel in the most? Like, what would your specialty be? Would you be good at the magic? Would you be good at like negotiating, like talking it out with the Ayakashi? Yeah, what would you be good at?
I would 100% immediately be interested in the magic. Like, if someone told me, like, all of a sudden, like, hey, you know, you have superpowers, right? I'd be like, yeah, let's go. I knew it. Even to this day, as old as I am waking up every single day hoping I have superpowers. The world would just be far more interesting if I just had superpowers, and you know, other people can have superpowers too, but it'd be more interesting.
Oh, well, that's very kind of you.
That's not what I meant. But the intro, I haven't listened to the outro just yet, but the intro is super good. So go ahead and listen to it there.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get it almost right now.
Yep.
Very soon.
Yeah. Oh well. So this is really cool. Like, it kind of gives you the overworld, so you pick like where you're going. Everything else is locked right now because we're starting out early on. But like, I thought it was really cool. Like, I've never had this in a game yet.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Where it's like you kind of pick a map and it shows you all of the little places and their names. The icon's directing you to a certain area, but yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll see it maybe by the end of the stream, but later on when you're like given free reign, you will pick the areas and it will very clearly show you visually which characters are in that area. So a kind of easy way to decide, like, if I want to go after Hira, I'll just pick the areas that have Hira to make sure I go see him a bunch. I think now would be a good time to talk about Oni.
Sure,
Oni or demons, which are, I mean, you probably have seen Oni in all kinds of different stories. I feel like it's probably one of the most common Ayakashi or yokai, Japanese spirit things in like contemporary media.
Yes.
If you've ever seen like Dragon Ball, they're in that. It's like usually a big red or blue person with a horn, maybe two horns, and they often have like a loincloth with like a leopard pattern. I don't know why that's the thing, but it's like usually leopard. Even like Dragon Quest, I think they're in that a lot. Sometimes they have like one eye rather than two eyes. So they're a lot like an ogre. They traditionally were really evil, like really horrible evil things that would eat people, like disembowel people and eat their flesh, and were just horrible. So they're quite scary, and they would carry like a spiked club that they would club people with, and you just wouldn't want to mess with one. But they're actually said traditionally to be what horrible people become when they die. They would transform into Oni, and then they actually serve under the ruler of hell, who's named Enma. So these Oni would torture people who have sinned that weren't quite evil enough to become Oni, so they were torturing the less evil people. And so sometimes when people were like so evil that they couldn't be redeemed in their lifetime, they would become Oni before even dying. So you have this really kind of sinister origin story for Oni themselves.
Yeah.
But much more recently, I think the Oni are really not depicted that way that often. They're more kind of goofy and helpful, sometimes a little bit evil, but much more impish, I think. And like Akuro here, I really like this dynamic with that history in mind. He speaks in like a very polite way. He's very chill. Like I remember thinking when I saw his character design, I thought he was gonna be like a hothead, like Ignis or something.
Yeah.
But he really is like the cool, calm, collected guy. Very nice, and he is really doing that to like combat that villainous, evil perception that people have of Oni. So I think that's a really interesting juxtaposition there. I feel like with something like this game, you're getting a lot of the characters in the common round again, but very early on you do need to kind of, if you want to do one of their routes, you have to start picking the character that you're interested in pretty quickly and be like, because you have that map where you have to decide who to hang out with. So it immediately is sort of funneling you into, okay, I want to spend time with this guy.
Hey, look, this is another one that's designed that I love. Again, I like the blue colors, but
yeah.
Just in general, like his design is so good.
Have you heard about Tengu before?
So,
by any chance, Sammy?
Like not in great detail, but Tengu's have always been like a referral.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Not necessarily like there hasn't been like a lot of Tengu characters that I have seen, but they've referred to like Tengus in their sort of personalities and the characters and stuff.
Right, yeah, I feel like they're not quite as ubiquitous as Oni, you know, that character, like an Oni character from Dragon Ball or something like that a lot of people have probably seen before, but Tengu as the idea sort of is a theme throughout a lot of media, and if anyone in the chat is familiar with Kami-sama Kiss, which is a rom-com anime that I quite like, there's a major Tengu character in that one. So Tengu are like, have they been considered both Ayakashian gods going way back in Japanese folklore from Shintoism, and they're usually a human with like a mixture of bird characteristics, so like the wings and maybe a beak, or instead of a beak, it's very common for them to have a very long red nose, and it's said that the longer the nose, the more powerful the Tengu, so there are a lot of jokes about elongating their noses and things like that, and it's even, I think at one point, Shino wonders why everybody in this area has a regular-sized nose, because they're meant to be Tengu. She's very confused.
Anyway, this is the character I was referring to. I felt like the character I was the most interested in getting through the start was Hira, actually.
Wow. Yeah, Hira's fun. I like his character. He's so blasé, though. He's like, so, like, if you want to wait to hear him do his whole voice line, it's like, you're like, waiting. Is he going to say something? Like, I know the text says he's going to say something.
I like this character's design a lot. Another character that it's like, man, what a shame that he's not a romanceable character.
Yeah, Orochi, yeah, he's cool. And again, he kind of has like the serpent look to his outfit, reminiscent of their Ayakashi. And Orochi, again, is another famous character from folklore, the Yamata no Orochi. If anyone's played Okami, they may be familiar with Orochi. Yeah, it really was. And like the aesthetic, so good, so pretty.
Well, there she is.
Also, like with Tamamo, like her ears, like she is a kitsune, but her ears look more ornamental. So it almost seems to me like she's meant to be very ancient and very powerful. So it's like she's putting on more of a human persona, like using her transformation abilities to look more human, but yet the ears are actually like, they seem to me to be ornamental or part of her headdress. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but like you can see on the other characters, their ears are like fuzzy looking, or hers look very fake. I don't know, they don't look real. I don't know if it's just a design thing or what, but I always found that interesting. I'm always examining them, like, are they real ears or what? I love the relationship between the girls too. It's like, yeah, there are a lot of dudes around here. We gotta bond together, and you get some cute scenes of them like having tea and gossiping and things like that.
Because there is a lot to this game. I think that isn't not necessary per se to enjoy it, but it makes everything a lot more it makes everything make a little bit more sense, which I think is a pretty good thing, like when you're going about like starting this game.
Yeah, it's really a rich game. I think that, you know, it's one of these things where there's a lot to enjoy on the surface level. The characters are fun. You don't need to know about folklore to enjoy it, but it has this really rich world and history and connection to Japan, and then you can learn more about these things that come up again and again in anime and manga and other video games. If you really like that aspect, I think it's a great game for that, and the art is just gorgeous. And as we've been saying, that there are a lot of really good VAs. So, and I think we didn't really mention this in the stream, but it is a little bit on the shorter side. It's a bit shorter than Olympia. So I really do think it's a good one to kind of get in there and play through, you know, before our next big release next year, Variable Barricade, a good holiday title. And then, yeah, if you're really into the folklore, it kind of is that sort of thing that might spark a new interest for you, and maybe you want to look more into that stuff.
And I know we kept everybody a little bit longer. I kind of wanted to make sure to recover some of the internet lost time, but that's it for us. So, and do you have anything else to say?
Oh, no, thanks everybody again for having me and for watching the stream, and I'm sure I'll be back for another Otome game in the near future. Hope you all like Dairoku. You can find me on Twitter at Apricotsushi.
So if you're not following her for some reason, that's crazy. Don't fix that problem. And you'll learn way more about Otome games. Anyway. That's it from us. Thank you guys so much for joining us for the launch day stream of Dairoku. This game has, so far, the little bit I've been, has been very interesting. I'm looking forward to getting through the routes and being able to talk to you guys about it. That'll be a lot of fun. But until then, hope to guys see you next week. Reminder that we are doing a game giveaway for Rico London, which will be the game that we'll be playing next week. And hopefully I can live up to my potential of being a shooter player. That's it. Take it easy, y'all, and have a good rest of your day.